I'll start by saying that the day that you preached a sole nominee, somebody came up to me and said, "Oh, that's great, Eric, you'll have a quiet life now, we've got a new minister." It's not quite been true. What's encouraged me in session at the moment? I think what's really encouraging me is that as a group of elders, along with yourself, we've started on a journey that is really exploring, well, what's God asking us to do in partnership with you as the people with responsibility for his family here at Brightons. We have been on a away day, which was a first, and that was great because we were able to discuss things perhaps more at length, more informally, and from that there's a couple of things have come out. First of all, the fact that really we're starting to ask ourselves the question, well, what's being an elder all about? What's being an elder all about in terms of looking after one another, caring for one another, supporting you as the teaching elder, and just try to see the way forward for that, elements of pastoral care, looking after the congregation. Second thing that's happened since the away day is that we have formed a strategy group, and maybe some people's eyes will roll and go, "Oh, strategy group." But this is not about a business strategy and a grand plan. What this really is saying, those who feel God's calling them to say, what's the way forward for Brightons? And they're going to think about it, pray about it, and bring it back to Clerk session. And as a group of elders, I think we've found ourselves freer, more able to chat with one another, chat with you, and really looking forward to the way that God leads us going forward from here.
Helen Keller, an American author, once quoted, "Alone we can do so little, together we can do so much." The discipleship team encourages each other, we work well together and support each other. The discipleship team is there to assist people in developing their Christian life through prayer and learning. There are various groups within the remit of the team. However, there are two in particular that have been really encouraging this session. Firstly, the Alpha course, which finished last Wednesday after 10 weeks. The numbers attending were encouraging, and the ages ranged from teenagers right through to the more mature, where people on a Wednesday night met for fellowship, friendship, conversations, and exploring the issues around faith and unpacking for some people the basics of Christianity. Alpha as a whole is to help bring people into a relationship with Jesus Christ by sharing the good news of the gospel. The other that I would like to highlight is the big quiz for Tier Fund that was held last Saturday night, with teams from the congregation, families and the organisations all taking part. It was a super night with fun, fellowship and food. When I saw the questions, I was glad that I was making the food. And we were one of over 325 churches that were taking part throughout Britain, raising money to help with Tier Fund projects throughout the world to help those less fortunate than ourselves. Both events have been encouraging to the members of the discipleship team.
I think the biggest thing is the generosity that the congregation have made towards the church since Scott gave his sermon on the morning of the ABM, saying that we had a deficit. Up to the end of October, our combined income from favour offerings, open plates and standing orders has increased by 17% on last year's figure. and that is the first significant increase we've had in that income in the last 8 years. Allied to that, there has been standing orders have been taken up. There is a number who have taken it out on a weekly basis. Many people have adjusted their standing order as well, and there has been an uptake in gift aid, which is always great because that gives us an extra 25 pence in the pound. On our costs, we have controlled all our costs through this year and will continue to be diligent in making sure that we are not wasting our resources, which we need to have for the future of God's work in this place.
So you've been really encouraged by people's generosity?
Oh, absolutely. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Makes my life an awful lot easier.
So we are convening the up and coming team, which is responsible for the 0 to 25 age range in the church. There's two main things we do. So we coordinate the activities of all the groups, from the creche to the brigades to the Sunday schools, make sure that we're all talking to each other and working together.
And the second thing we do is we look at the strategy that we use in our church. So are we as a church addressing the needs of our young people? Are we teaching them God's word and helping them to become mature disciples? And what might we do differently?
Cool. So yes, you asked what's encouraging us, what's exciting us just now. There's a bunch of things. So one of the things we're really excited about is the possibility of calling a youth worker. So there are huge opportunities both within our church but also in our parish. We've got a huge high school just on our doorstep, and there's real opportunity there to reach out to those young people and help them as they face all the struggles that young people face today. So we're excited by the support we've had from Session so far, and we're hopeful that we'll be able to call a youth worker and that they would be able to strengthen the ministry that our brigades and our Sunday schools already have. We're also encouraged by the numbers that we have in the groups already, and the Sunday schools and the brigades. There are lots of unchurched young people in our brigades who come regularly every week, and we have a chance to reach them for Christ.
We're looking at training for our leaders and our young people. We've already started up an annual training conference called Breathing In, which some of you may have attended, and that will be running again in March next year. And that's to really support our leaders and to give them a time and a space where they can actually breathe in and receive instead of just giving out all the time, to fill them up. And we'd love to do more, to be honest, to help our leaders as they support our young people.
And another thing that has been really obvious recently is just developing our Sunday schools as an inclusive environment. So we are able as a church to provide support for children with a range of special needs and to benefit from their special gifts as well. And it's been lovely seeing that coming together into something perhaps a bit more formal and a bit more available. And we're just so encouraged by that.
Well, I think for me it's belong particularly. Since coming here, I've been impressed with the outreach of this church and particularly work with the pre-5s. My previous church experience was with community outreach, but it concentrated mainly on care. But here, the brief on our community outreach here is care, but also spreading the gospel, bringing the good news to all in our community. Belong brings these two things together quite well by providing an environment for those that are new to church to meet, mix and worship with our church family. And it's a great opportunity for us all to invite our neighbour, that friend, that member of family to come along to an event that is non-threatening.
I'm really encouraged by the new links that we're making with Wallastone Primary School Nursery in conjunction with the coffee morning. We've had a very thriving coffee morning going on for a great number of years, and it's very well attended by lots of people, male and female. But these youngsters are going to be coming down on a monthly basis, and they're going to be mixing with the people there. Not sure exactly what they're going to be doing with it. Well, they'll be chatting, they'll maybe be reading stories, they might be doing jigsaws, who knows. And also there's going to be members going up to the nursery. We've already visited once and shared fun with the youngsters there. They enjoy the oldies going, and we enjoy the young ones coming down here. So intergenerational's winning all the time, and I think it's really exciting.
Well, my name's Sandra Anderson, and I'm the convener for the pastoral care team, which has 7 members, all of whom give all their talents to what we're doing. But we're also very well supported by 15 volunteer visitors, and all of us go out to visit people in their own homes or in care homes, and the feedback from these visits is so extremely positive, because we have to remember we're visiting people who have been active members in our church, regular attenders on a Sunday, but for whatever reasons, usually to do with health, they're no longer able to come. So by us going out and taking them the news of the church and what's happening maybe even in the village, we're keeping them involved and making them still feel they're part of us. And we can't forget those people. We did hold a super visitors lunch, and we all got together and exchanged ideas, very positive, and the really upbeat part of that was we gained 3 new visitors. And I've also had another one has come forward since then. During the year, a remembrance book was introduced and dedicated in the church, and that can be viewed every Sunday in the foyer. And beside it there are small cards if anyone wants to make an entry in this. We were very aware that people were no longer able to visit the cemetery or the crematorium, often because they're no longer driving or the family are not in this area. So this gives them the opportunity to put an entry in there, and they can view it any time.